Breathing, to me, is critical for voice work. If you run out of breath, you ain't got a voice. And oftentimes, you want to be able to put the pauses where you want to put them, rather than be dictated to by where they have to happen naturally.
If we take the addresses of the people who were rounded up lately by the UNF as terrorists and cross-check them against the dangerous parts of the town, we'll be able to zero right in on them.
I took a voice production class, and in that class, I learned how to breathe, I learned how to relax, to do exercises. I learned articulation exercises, which I now teach the kids I read to, and I also learned the various placements in the voice. So you have nasal, you have oral, you have aspirate, you have guttural, and you have oroton, which is the part of your voice that has the most resonance. Then you know how to combine them. So if, for instance, you're doing, you want to do someone who might be a little upper crust, you know that the articulation needs to be very precise, and if you want to give her just a little bit of air of aristocracy, a feel of aristocracy, you might want to do hers like this.
And, if you have somebody who looks like she has a bit of a narrow nose and is maybe just a little bit uptight, then, that nasality kind of works, and you can tell my entire body is becoming that.
When I do a new voice or a new celebrity, I try to figure out, well, what's their texture of their voice. So like with Sean Connery, he has like a lot of this glottal frying. It's like that kind of thing. So the texture of his voice is like right in here. But then you go, okay, do they have an accent? And he has like a Welsh accent. So the texture of his voice is right in here. So that sounded a little Russian or something. And then you go, well, do they have any speech impediments or anything like that? Well, Sean Connery has kind of loose dentures, and they do affect his voice. So all his S's are SH's. So all of a sudden, it's starting to sound down like this in here. So you've got that going on. And then you decide, like, what's the musicality of the voice? So with Sean Connery, it's like, kind of thing goes on. So when you put them all together, you get a guy who's talking like this. He's like, hello there, listen, your plans for world domination are over, Jack.
I'd say the range now for my voice is probably early 20s. If I get up in here, if I try not to get any of the bottom tones in out of my throat, sometimes it'll sound acceptable, it'll sound authentic enough.
And the great part is being able to play a saccharine sweet little cutie thing like that, and then you get a little, it's like having too much sweet, and then you need something salty, and then you get to be one of those, and it's like, oh yeah, that's satisfying. I can, it's like a meal.